take the case of debit note and credit note. First, I will give you the case of debit note. When the debit note is issued by supplier, you know, there's some magic which will give you the logic to remember this for the exam. मजा आएगा, बहुत ध्यान से देखो ये magic और logic को. Debit note is issued by the supplier. When I am doing the sales, what is the journal entry for the sales? Party account debit to sale. पार्टी को मैं क्या कर रही हूँ? डेबिट. तो अभी मुझे और डेबिट करना है पार्टी की. तो व्हाट मस्ट बी द केस व्हेन आई हैव डेबिटेड द पार्टी लेस? वन इज taxable value of supply in invoice. Taxable value of supply in invoice is less than actual taxable value. You have supplied the goods of 10,000. Please understand, write it, understand the meaning. And when I apply this knowledge, पहले हम लिखेंगे, फिर हम notes पढ़ेंगे और एक question solve करेंगे. 5 out of 5 marks are yours. ध्यान से सुनो. बहुत बार पूछते हैं the question related to debit note and credit note. Okay. Now, what is the taxable value of supply you have written in the invoice? Say 10,000. So you have made the invoice of 10,000, but एक zero गलती से कम लगा. Actually, the goods supplied are 1 lakh. Is it possible to scratch the invoice, cancel the invoice? It's not easy because when you upload the invoices, they are auto-populated in the GSTR1, and from there GSTR2B of inward supply of the buyer and all. So can you cancel it? No. Can you scratch and amend it? Ma'am, kam hai, bada do? No. So debit note is a way in which you are changing your invoice without scratching and changing the past invoice. आराम से देखो. Taxable value of supply invoice में 10,000 है. Actual supply is 1 lakh. Can I issue debit note to the party for rupees 90,000? Answer is yes. It's as debit note is as good as additional invoice. I am issuing. Second example for this is if the tax charged in invoice, tax charged in invoice is less than the tax payable on supply. Are you all with me? I have made the invoice and I have charged the tax. Example rate charged is 12%. But tax payable on supply is actually 18%. Wrong HSN dalne se I have taken less rate. Can I change the value of the invoice? Can I amend it, scratch it? No. But for the additional 6%, can I issue you a debit note? Answer is yes. So what are the two cases wherein, और इसको एग्जाम में कैसे याद रखेंगे? सेल की एंट्री. व्हाट इज द सेल एंट्री? पार्टी टू सेल. पार्टी को क्या कर रहे हैं? डेबिट. और सेल की वैल्यू, इंक्रीज द सेल वैल्यू मोर डेबिट. Increase the tax charge to the party more. Party, you have to pay me 112. No, party, you have to pay me 118, 6 rupees more. So whenever I am debiting the party more, it is debit note. I am telling you, literally students know the 5-mark question which I am going to solve now. They know the answer. But the problem is, they do it whole reverse. मैम पूरा सही किया लेकिन डेबिट नोट की जगह क्रेडिट नोट लिखा, तो यू नॉट गेट एनी मार्क्स. नो. अंडरस्टैंड द लॉजिक. यू नीड नॉट बट्टीफाई एनीथिंग. I'll tell you in capital gain chapter, in costing, In accounts, there are no formulas. Insurance claims, there is no formula. You understand the logic and you can work it out. Clear to all of you, right? Okay, sure. So is this clear for debit note? Let me read the credit note, and like this we will do the same for the credit note also. चलो साथ में पढ़ते हैं क्रेडिट नोट एंड डेबिट नोट. मैंने पहले डेबिट नोट किया. Where a tax invoice has been issued for supply of any goods and taxable value is found to be less than the taxable value in invoice is found to be less than the taxable value of supply. Tax charged in the tax invoice is found to be less than the taxable value in respect of the supply. Registered person who has supplied such goods or services or both shall issue to the recipient a debit note containing the particulars. You know, when I'm issuing you debit note, as good as I'm issuing you additional invoice. तो मैम इनवॉइस ही दे दो ना, कैसे नया इनवॉइस नंबर करें? Whenever tax invoice is prepared, goods should go out, no? Removal of goods तो remove हो चुके. अब किसका नया invoice? So for changes in the invoice issued, and when the value of the supply or value of the tax is to be increased, issue the debit note. Any registered person who issues debit note in relation to supply of goods or service or both shall declare the details of the debit note in return for the month. As I say, party to sales and my invoice is a part of my outward supply, debit note is also a part of my outward supply in GSTR 1. ये हम returns में भी करेंगे वापस. Debit note is also given in the return for the month, and tax liability shall also be adjusted. Debit note shall also include supplementary invoice. ठीक है? There is no prescribed format for credit or debit note. However, it must contain all the details like a revised tax invoice. In short, it's like a tax invoice only. But you cannot have a serial number and vehicle number and e-bill and all, because in this debit note there is no further supply of the goods. Goods supply हो चुका है. Only value is to be increased for the goods and or for the tax. Beautiful. Is it clear? Debit note. They're going to work out this problem. But before that, now let us write the same for the credit note. Just need to pause 1 second. For waiting, chalo. Debit note is cleared when the value of the supply is to be increased or tax is to be increased. Reason ये सब कुछ हो सकते हैं. अब वैसे ही है credit note. Credit note. Credit note means what is the secret? Credit the party. Credit the party means कब होगा ये? Sales return. I have sold you the goods and the goods are returned. So when I have sold you the goods, party to sales, party को क्या किया? Debit. Now goods are coming return. Party को क्या किया? Sales return के वक्त what is the journal entry? Sales return to party. Yes. Sales JE journal entry लिखो. Sales return to party. Goods are returned, or you know, sometimes like we have said 100 goods and then you get a call, ma'am 20 goods are तो पूरे एकदम इतने खराब condition में आ गए कि सीधा dustbin में फेंकना पड़ा. Okay, we will take it as sales return and we will do the billing of 18. So like this, if the goods are defective, if they are returned. So what are the cases when you issue the credit note? हाँ, आपने वैल्यू ज्यादा चार्ज कर दी है. Taxable value in invoice is more than actual taxable value of supply. By mistake, you have made the bill of 50,000 whereas actually you have sold the goods of 5,000. Goods have gone out of the factory 5,000, but by mistake एक zero extra लग गया, bill 50 का बन गया. So for 45,000, do I need to? I did party to sales 50,000. Now for 45,000, do I need to reverse the party? Do I need to credit the party? Yes, party को credit किए. तो कौन सा नोट है? क्रेडिट नोट है. अकाउंट्स पढ़ रहे कि जीएसटी पढ़ रहे हैं? जीएसटी पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन अकाउंट्स रेलेवेंट है टू अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट. If you understand like this concept, I don't know, somehow I'm recollecting so much of insurance claims today and that sum assured and all. So there are some logics. If you understand that, you will never have to learn it for your exam. Open flow होगा. चलो आ जाओ. When tax charged is more, tax charged in invoice is greater than tax payable on supply. You have done the billing at the rate of 18%, whereas it should be 12%. 18% रेट कर दो, जबकि रेट तो है 12%. Next, where the goods supplied are returned by the recipient. Then also you will have to sales return when the goods supplied are returned by recipient. Nothing but sales return is the third case. Okay, where goods are defective और शॉर्ट सप्लाई, रास्ते में चोरी हो गई, हम क्या करें? आपने बिल बनाया 100 पैकेट्स, हमको तो 60 मिले, हम तो 60 का ही पेमेंट देंगे. ठीक है, चलो. तो supplier will give credit note. Are all the four cases clear for credit note? ये डेबिट नोट के 2 केसेस हैं, क्रेडिट नोट के 4 केसेस. And these both are related to sales. हमेशा इधर 4 उधर 4 ऐसे नहीं होता. Clear? चलो, now this concept is over. Let us read and apply it in the problem. Sorry, ये तो हमने लिख लिया ना, documentation. Yes, please come here. Debit credit note देखते हैं. Where a tax invoice has been issued for supply of goods, taxable value in invoice is found to exceed the taxable value in such supply. Taxable value ज्यादा है, greater है. Tax charged is found to exceed 18%, जबकि 12% ही चार्ज करना था. आपने तो ज्यादा चार्ज कर दिए, पार्टी को क्रेडिट करो. Where goods supplied are returned or where goods supplied are found to be deficient, registered person who has supplied the goods may issue to recipient a credit note. When you are issuing a credit note, is as good as you are amending the original tax invoice. Any registered person who issues credit note in relation to supply of goods shall declare details of credit note in return of the month during such credit note has been issued, but not later than September following the end of the financial year in which the supply was made, or date of furnishing annual return, whichever is earlier, and the tax liability shall be adjusted. अगर आप क्रेडिट नोट इशू कर रहे हो, you are reducing your sale of this month, whereas actually this is the sale return of April month. But in July the goods came back and you are reducing the sale. So you are saving the tax, no? So that much tax you will pay in this month less to the government. That all adjustment will be done. But for that you have to issue which note? Credit note. क्योंकि आप पार्टी को क्या कर रहे हो? सेल्स रिटर्न टू पार्टी. पार्टी को बेचा तब क्या किया? पार्टी टू सेल्स. नाउ सेल्स रिटर्न टू पार्टी. पार्टी 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 आपको क्या किया? क्रेडिट. सो विच नोट? क्रेडिट नोट. You have to pay less, party. Yes, because we have charged the value more, we have charged the rate more, we have charged the goods more. तो ना goods का value कम हो गया, rate कम हो गया, defective की value कम हो गई, तो party we are crediting you, you pay less, and this is to be adjusted whenever this happens in that month's return. It has to be adjusted. Maximum time limit that the goods can come back and you can adjust is financial year 21-22 is over. So 22 September का return when you will file October 20 or 21-22's annual return when you are generally filing December 22 के पहले, whichever is earlier, whichever is earlier. ठीक है, right? चलो. Let us apply. Everyone in the class is clear. Ask 2 minutes. Check the screen, and if you have any doubt, ask me. What are the cases? And credit note can be issued in this time limit. Debit note. If you have charged less, charge the tax more. If you have charged value less, charge the value more. No, debit note के लिए ऐसे exactly तो कोई time नहीं दिया जैसे credit note के लिए दिया. Any other doubt? This is a past exam question asked for 5 marks. Chalo, let us take it. Rushabh is a registered supplier and the value of different invoices what he has issued, he is asking you. Value of supply, give your advice. Who shall issue debit or credit note? Rushabh, because he is a registered supplier. Whether debit or credit note has to be issued, and what is the time limit available for declaring the credit note in the GST return? ठीक है, same answer what we have written now. First, value of supply charged in invoice number 3 is 260 against taxable value 230. ज्यादा बिलिंग कर दिया आपने, बिल कम करना है तो पार्टी को ज्यादा डेबिट कर दिए. And I feel I'm teaching like bank reconciliation or rectification of errors, but actually this is a GST class, but as good as rectification. ना गलती हो गई. You have sold the goods of 230, party to sales, but by mistake party is debited 260. Is party debited 30,000 more? Yes. Should we credit it? Yes. So which note we will issue? Credit note. Just write it. I'll share in the notebook also. How will you write that? Party, we are crediting your account with 30,000 against the amount charged more. Tax charged in invoice is 33 against actual liability 65,000 due to wrong HSN. Code गलत ले लिए. We should have charged tax 65. We charged 33. Did we charge less tax? Yes. Charge more tax 65 minus 33 or charge कर दो. If you charge more tax, what are you doing to party? Debit. Party debit to sales 33. But actually party should have been debited with tax 65. So now debit more. So which note you will issue? Debit note. Tax liability is more, greater than sign. Tax liability is more. Actual tax liability is more. आपने charge कम किया है. चलो. Value of charged in invoice number 10 is rupees 5,20,000 as against actual value of 420 due to wrong quantity considered. गलत बिलिंग के कारण goods have gone out 420. Party to sales 420 होना था, but it is 520. Sorry party, we have overcharged you 1 lakh rupees. Party को क्या करोगे? Credit. So which note we will give? Value charged in the invoice is 520. जबकि एक्चुअल वैल्यू कितना है? 420. तो विच नोट यू विल गिव? ज्यादा डेबिट कर दिया आपने, तो अब हम कौन सा नोट देंगे? credit note. You'll have to issue the credit note for 1 lakh rupees. Credit note is as good as invoice. तो उस पे check भी reverse होगा. What is the time limit available for declaring the credit note? September 22 का return, that is October 20, or date of annual return. Can you please write? अच्छा एक काम करते हैं, मैं भी लिखती हूँ इसको, नोटबुक में ही सॉल्व करते हैं ना, 2 मिनट लगेगा. Problem number 6, no? Yeah. डेबिट का आंसर है ऋषभ will issue debit note or credit note. Rishabh will issue debit note or credit note. As he is registered supplier. Now in B case, again there are 3 bits. है ना, B के केस में 3 bits हैं. I'm reading out again. Value of supply charge is 260 against 230. तो आपने ज्यादा चार्ज किए हैं, तो क्रेडिट नोट. Credit note is issued as invoice, as taxable value in invoice is more than taxable supply of goods. प्रॉब्लम ओपन रखो. टैक्सेबल वैल्यू इनवॉइस में ज्यादा चार्ज किए हैं तो आप क्रेडिट करो, रिवर्स करो. नेक्स्ट, tax charged is 33 whereas you should have charged 65, so debit. B में फिर A, B, C बिट है ना. Debit note is required to be issued for less tax charge. Debit note is issued for less tax charged in invoice. In invoice, you have charged 33,000, whereas actual tax 66,000. So, or debit karo. Debit note is to be issued for less tax charged in invoice 33, whereas actual tax is 66. And next one is value charged as invoice is 520 against the actual value 420. फिर overcharge किया तो क्या करो, credit note. Credit note is issued as taxable value in invoice is more than taxable supply of goods. You have sent the goods of only 420 sold, but you have billed 520. तो पार्टी को डेबिट हो गया है 520. रिवर्स करो. Please watch this again. Take notes of all these flowchart. You will never have any doubt in credit note and debit note. Understand it. Watch the video 2-3 times. 10-15 मिनट लगेगा. इसको बार बार देख के करो, जरूर समझ में आएगा. चलिए साथ में आगे. Right. And the last C bit asked is, what is the maximum time limit for declaring a credit note? Credit note can be declared last till for financial year 21-22 September 22. For financial year 21-22 September 22 का रिटर्न कब जाता है? September 22 का रिटर्न October 20 और date of annual return of 21-22 जिसका ड्यू डेट क्या है? डेट ऑफ एनुअल रिटर्न मैक्सिमम December 22, whichever is earlier. Write down the answer. We have done this so many times in the due dates and others. Credit note can be issued maximum financial year 21-22 अगर खत्म हो जा रहा है तो September 22 या September 22 का October 20th of October और date of annual return. Clear है to everyone? Okay, so debit note